Welcome to this Tuesday talk on Shamatha meditation. I'm really pleased you could join me. For those of you who are watching the replay, welcome. And for those of you on YouTube, I'll give a brief introduction to myself. My name is Barbara Heffernan. I've been a Buddhist for almost 30 years. I've been meditating for just as long. And I created a YouTube channel to help bring more tools of meditation and cognitive behavioral therapy and EMDR to help people live more joyful lives. So welcome. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel and give the video a like. And for my Facebook community, we have a community on Facebook. As you join on, I won't be able to see your name unless you put your name in the comments because I'm on StreamYard, or you can hit the button to give permission to StreamYard. Hi, Julia, nice to see you. Hello, nice to see all of you Facebook users. So today I'm going to talk about a topic that is near and dear to my heart, which is shamatha meditation. And I simply love the term shamatha. It means peaceful abiding. And if you really think about that word, peaceful abiding, it's wonderful, right? What a concept. So in the original teachings of the Buddha, he did not have a separate meditation for shamatha meditation and then vipassana meditation. Shamatha and vipassana were seen as two aspects of mind that are strengthened through the meditation practice. And shamatha being the calm abiding, concentration, peacefulness, feeling a state of equanimity, and vipassana being the insight that comes from meditation. So these go hand in hand. So many traditions now have something called a shamatha meditation, and I'm going to share with you the shamatha meditation that I learned in the Tibetan tradition that I was part of for a long time. But just so you know that both insight and peaceful abiding go together in most Buddhist forms of meditation. So hi, Jess. Hi, Yuthaswara. Nice to have you here. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. So I'm going to talk today for just a few minutes about the concept of shamatha meditation, and then I'm going to do a guided meditation with you. So hopefully you are in a place where you're comfortable sitting. Could be just a desk chair, or it could be your meditation spot. And we'll go through this together, and then there'll be time for questions and answers at the end of the meditation practice. So as I begin to talk, feel free to take your meditative stance. And I was reading this morning a couple of different things, but one of the concepts in Buddhism is to be an open cup. That sometimes when we're learning, we can be a cup that's turned over, not good for holding water, right? Or we can be a cup that feels like it's already full, or we can be an open cup. So sometimes it's really nice to listen to new teachings as an open cup. So I just encourage you to take a moment, take your seat, and take that approach. So as I mentioned, vipassana and shamatha go together, insight and peaceful abiding. The shamatha meditation technique that I'm going to share with you today has two elements that are in addition to the other techniques that I have taught in my Facebook group and on the YouTube channel. And one of them is really to bring in this attitude of peaceful abiding. So as you sit in meditation and you focus on your breath, to sort of feel an atmosphere of peacefully abiding with whatever is going on for you. So if you are feeling emotional turmoil, peacefully abide it. If you are feeling lots of racing thoughts, or your to-do lists, or your chattering monkey mind, sit with it with an attitude of peaceful abiding. And if your neighbor is making noise or the lawnmower is outside or there's some loud distracting noise that you don't like, peacefully abide. So peacefully abiding is really to accept exactly what is with a feeling of calm and peacefulness. So that's one element that I want to bring in today. The other element I'd like to bring in is a little bit more of a focus on the out breath through the nose. So very often in meditation instruction, I will basically say, feel your body breathing, and whatever that means for you is fine. With this practice today, we're really going to focus on the feeling of the breath coming in the nostrils and the feeling of the breath going out of the nostrils. And as you exhale, feel the breath and the air dissolve. So you'll be focusing on the inhale and then the exhale. And then there's a moment at the end of the exhale where the breath dissolves. And there's sort of a pause or an openness or a space before the inhale happens again. So we're going to sit together and bring both of these elements into our meditation practice today, probably for about 7 to 10 minutes. I'll ring a gong and I will also guide you. And then at the end of that, we can have some questions and answers about what that was like for you. So let's take a moment to take our seat, and you can think of your posture, your seat in your chair or on your meditation cushion, rooted in the ground. Pull up through your spine a little bit from the crown of your head all the way up, which just really is a very open posture. We've talked before about an attitude of being relaxed but alert. So the meditation posture is alert but relaxed. And you can kind of wiggle your shoulders for half a second and then drop them comfortably. You can place your hands on your knees. I can see if I can tilt this a little bit. You can see a little bit more. I'm sitting in cross-legged position on the floor, hands on my knees. And our eyes are open. They are open and gently looking just comfortably 3 feet in front of us. Soft gaze, not trying to focus on anything hard, but all of your sense gates are open in this meditation. You can hear things, you can see things. All of the sensory, you might feel a breeze on your skin. All the sensory stuff is invited in, not to focus on, not to think about or accept or reject, but it's just there. And in the same way that those sensory experiences are just there, could be a pain in your knee, it could be a feeling of your seat in your chair, it could be a crook in your back. But just as those sensory experiences are there, thoughts are there. Our minds think. That's what our minds do. So don't feel like if you're thinking, you're doing something wrong. It's just as soon as you're thinking, you kind of notice it and you return to the breath. So there's no good or bad meditations. Simply doing it is fine. So having taken your posture, your gaze gently in front of you, I'd like you to bring your attention as clearly as you can to the feeling of the breath coming in your nose and out of your nose. So just bring as much of your concentration to the breath coming in and the breath going out. And I will ring the gong. And as I said, we'll sit for about 10 minutes. And I will periodically guide you, bring your concentration back, or ask you to focus on something. So let's start. So just a gentle focus on your breath coming in your nostrils and the exhale as the breath leaves your body and dissolves into the space in front of you. As your mind wanders, just gently bring it back to the breath. As much of your concentration as you can on the air coming into your nostrils, into your body, and the exhale through your nostrils with the breath dissolving in front of you. And I'd like you to bring in a sense of ease, not straining, just natural, relaxed. This is a very relaxed, natural method of meditation. So gentle concentration on the breath as it comes in and out of your nose with a sense of ease in your body. And bring to mind an atmosphere of peaceful abiding. Surround yourself with a peaceful acceptance of whatever is happening inside you or around you. Gentleness, gentle, peaceful abiding as you bring your attention back again and again to the breath coming in your nostrils and the exhale. And gently increasing your concentration on your exhale. And just noticing the moment when your breath has fully left your body and has dissolved into the space around you. So a gentle inhale and a gentle exhale. Noticing the exhale dissolving in front of you. And maybe as you are concentrating on the exhale and that moment where the breath has fully left your body and is dissolving into the area around you, maybe you'll notice a sense of space. That might feel different in awareness than what you notice normally. And if it's not, it's okay. Peaceful abiding, it's all okay. Gently bringing your attention back to the inhale and the exhale, the air moving through your nostrils. So just take a moment, having done that meditation, and notice if anything has shifted for you in your mind or your body or your awareness of space. And just notice. And if you jump to judging it, you can notice that as well. If you jump to judging, oh, nothing changed for me, that's a problem, or wow, it changed a lot and that's really good. Just notice how quickly you move to judgment. Just notice. And just having an awareness of what shifted, if anything. And I'd love to take some questions and also hear what your experience is like, make this interactive. And generally there's about a 20-second lag when you send me a question before I see it. But feel free right now to ask a question about the practice or let me know what the experience was like for you. Yes. Someone shares, very relaxing and the gong made you jump. Yes, that happens to me very often when somebody else is ringing a gong. It does. It can make us jump. Absolutely. And Laura sharing, thank you, that short time was what you needed right now. Yes, so meditation can be very effective in short periods of time. And it can be fun to sometimes experiment with trying much longer periods of time. And how did you all feel about bringing in this concept of peaceful abiding? Did that feel helpful? Stefania, very relaxing. Good. Great. And if it wasn't relaxing for you, it's also okay to share. Sometimes I have meditation sits which don't feel relaxing at all. And sometimes they do feel relaxing, and sometimes not much of a change. It's all okay. That's the essence of the term peaceful abiding. That's actually the essence of the term. It's all okay. So, yeah, okay. So someone said, yes, definitely, the peaceful abiding. I'm assuming that the peaceful abiding made sense, and bringing in that concept of calm abiding. I love the term. I love the term shamatha. Stefania found it easier than other times. Interesting. Okay. That's terrific. Might be because you're doing it more often, or might be the guided, or might be the essence of the peaceful abiding. Hard to know. How do you decide, Teresa's asking, how do you decide which meditation to use? Do they have different purposes? So if you're working regularly with a teacher, the teacher might guide you to do a particular kind of practice for a certain period of time. And I think it's generally good to have a basic practice, like a basic focus on the breath meditation practice. And shamatha can definitely be that. So I'd probably recommend having one basic practice and then adding in and experimenting with different pieces as you go forward. So sometimes if you're in a particular tradition or working with a particular teacher, the teacher will make a recommendation to try a slightly different technique. So concentrating on the breath made things easier. Yeah, so sometimes really focusing on the breath coming in and out of the nostrils can help a lot. So one thing we talked about today was the peaceful abiding, and then the other thing was the focus on the exhale and the breath dissolving. I'd love to know what your experience was like with the breath dissolving. And by the way, if you're watching this on replay, feel free to leave a comment, either YouTube or Facebook. I check all the comments and I can respond if you have a question, even if you're watching on a replay. Janet asking whether it's good to do every day. Absolutely. So shamatha is really a very, very basic, in the Tibetan tradition I was part of, shamatha is the basic technique that's taught. And there's a variety. Sometimes you vary how much you focus on the inhale versus the exhale, but pretty much what I just guided you through could very easily be your core daily practice. So Christy's asking whether it matters if she's more comfortable exhaling through her mouth versus her nose. Doesn't matter. Do whichever one feels more natural, particularly with peaceful abiding. So with peaceful abiding, what we're trying, actually we're not trying, right? So we want to avoid like too much effort. We want to do what feels natural and relaxing. So if inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth is more comfortable for you, that's fine. With this practice of the dissolve, I'd still be curious, even if you're exhaling through your mouth, whether that experience of the dissolving of the breath was meaningful for you. Yeah, so guided meditations can definitely be helpful. And this video will be both in the Facebook group and on YouTube, so you can watch it and you can figure out, I think I started the meditation at about 10 and then ended at about 20. So you can just come back and do the guided piece of this meditation more. And then it's great to set a timer and practice on your own. And then in terms of how often you practice or how long you practice for, general guidance would be to try to sit every day if you can. So Again, this is not to strain or beat yourself up about or add it to your list of like healthy things to do that you sometimes don't do and then you feel bad about yourself. We're like, none of that. We don't want any of that. So a daily practice for me, I drink coffee. So I get up, I have my coffee, and then I try to do my meditation sit before I pick up a device or my phone or my email or my computer. And then after I sit, I have breakfast. So that's sort of my routine, and it helps for me to tie it to other things so that it becomes like the norm. Like you wake up, you brush your teeth, you do this, you do that, you sit, you meditate. In terms of how long, that's really an individual choice. If you're a beginner, I'd recommend 10 minutes. And then after you do 10 minutes for a couple of weeks, stretch to 15. And if you can get yourself into doing a regular 20-minute sit, whether it's every day or 5 days a week, that would be awesome. Like 20 minutes a day on a regular basis, I think that you will really begin to see and feel changes throughout your day. And then it's also nice once in a while to throw in longer periods of sitting. So if your normal practice is 15 to 20 minutes during the course of a day, on a weekend, you might say, okay, I'm going to give it a try for 30 minutes. And then what most meditators do if they're meditating for a long period of time is that they alternate between sitting meditation and walking and then sitting again. Because when we sit, we can get really stiff and achy. And then it just, it's a lot nicer to get up. And then also walking meditation helps you to bring the mindfulness that you've developed into moving through the world. So I do have videos on walking meditation, both in the Facebook group and on YouTube. So you could check those out as well. Okay, so dissolving of the breath was a new concept for me and very calming, from Joanne. Thanks, Joanne. Yeah, it's an interesting technique. And if the dissolving of the breath, if it feels like it's helpful for you, do it. If it doesn't feel helpful, unless you're working, closely with an instructor, I'd say don't do it. So it can be a means of accessing, the Buddhist concepts could be emptiness or universality, like connection to others. So experiencing that gap at the end of the out-breath can sometimes be very profound, and other times it can be unsettling. So again, that might depend on whether you're working with a teacher or where you are in your personal meditation practice. So great. Any other questions or comments, or if you're watching the replay, please leave them in the comments and I will go back through and take a look at them. And I hope this practice is helpful for you.